How much was drugs involved in all of this?
Very much.
From what standpoint?
There was a party that I was at in Washington, D.C. on Embassy Row where he had the table laid out like you would a fine buffet. Well, they had little salt dishes with razor blades and spoons and with, the little straw on them.
Yeah.
And a bowl full of cocaine in a punch bowl.
And again, these are people, politicians and people like that who are attending these parties and partaking in this.
One of them, there was what I was told was the Secret Service was there.
Mm-hmm.
I never seen any identification, but I was told it was Secret Service.
Yeah.
And they secured the entire house, and there was a presidential limousine there.
Really? Yeah. Did you see the president at the time at all in any of these instances?
Yeah, I'd seen the president.
Which president was it?
Reagan.
Reagan?
Had been there.
Okay.
And I'd seen the Bushes. There were various people that I'd seen. The one that's sitting in the White House right now.
Okay.
I would not trust that man with anything. He's a snake in the grass.
Okay.
Lo and behold on that, sorry to inform you people that like him, but if you knew what I knew about him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of these things that went on, and it was really a shame because you couldn't get anything done about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing is, if you told somebody, you may be telling the wrong person.
Yeah.
And it would leak up, whatever, and you may find yourself dead. You may find family members dead, hurting, whatever. I've been shot at 3 times. I was riding my bike in Portland, Oregon, and I got intentionally hit by a car. They drove by about 50 miles an hour and opened their back door and hit me.
Wow.
Okay, I got epilepsy out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is what I have to deal with.
Yeah.
And that just because I went to work for somebody in good faith.
Yeah.
And ended up seeing way more than I ever wanted to or dreamed of.
Mm-hmm. How many children or young people that were involved in this, how many of them do you think were utilized in snuff films? Was there a lot done, or was this something that was a rare occasion?
It happened, but the thing was I have no idea how many actually got made. Because they would go to so many different places. It was nothing unusual for Larry to be on a private jet 2, 3, 4 days out of a week. And, he could be anywhere. And, some of these things were cloaked in secrecy because a lot of them were instigated out of FAC. That's the Air Force Base in Omaha. That's Strategic Air Command.
What did they have to do with it?
That's where a lot of the MK Ultra things went on, the mind control.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about that, because when you say the mind control, now how familiar were you with Paul Benassi?
I testified at his trial against Larry King, where he won the $1 million judgment.
This is the civilian lawsuit that Benassi filed against him, right?
Yeah. I think it's February 5th of 1999 in Judge Warren Urban's court.
Okay.
I knew Paul. I wasn't really close to him.
Yeah.
But, I knew of him. And that's pretty much the way most of the people I knew in Larry's organization, I knew of them, but I didn't want to get close to any of them.
Right, okay.
A lot of the kids were brought in. They were either drugged or they'd take them through this MK Ultra and do the mind control. Larry was very good at that.
Now, and you say that the SAC base, Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha, that was a facility where they took these kids?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Air Force Base, because I know Paul Benassi talked, quite extensively about stuff that he'd been through. He was also, from what I understand, the psychiatrist that looked at him. He was himself a multiple personality, had been traumatized, and these compartmentalized personalities had been set up in him from when he was just a child. He claimed that he had been taken to Offutt Air Force Base, did he not?
Yeah. When I was with Larry and we went out to Offutt, what struck me funny was he would go right through the guard shack. They didn't stop him for anything. Didn't matter who he had with him.
Okay, so it kind of implies that he was well known there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Rusty, in your time with him around Larry King, did you ever see or know about any kind of cooperation that he may have had with any kind of government agencies, i.e. CIA or any of these other agencies that might be involved in some kind of covert activity?
Oh, yeah. Michael Aquino was a colonel in, what was it, Army or...
He was in the Army.
He had various ties to, like you said, the CIA and the FBI, things like that.
Yeah.
Getting back to that daycare center I was telling you about.
Yeah.
The guy boarded up the doors, and we were on a private jet to Washington. And he called Wadman, and it was beyond his hands by that time. And the sheriffs, he called them trying to get it opened up. They didn't want to touch it. State Patrol didn't want to touch it. So he was upset. And he called Reagan direct. And I sat there and listened to the phone call.
Yeah.
And I could hear it because I was just right next to him. And it was open within 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he had the juice.
Oh, he had the juice.